So in this session, we are looking at fragility of African governance institutions and OGPs in parliaments, environmental politics, civil society spaces and engagements, women and youth, and evolving role in technology in civic engagements. So I'm requesting you to have not to go beyond 3 minutes at the very least in your address. Equally, I'm asking you apply your mind to the 5 issues that are in the program. I don't need to repeat it in that manner. You can consolidate the 5 in your response in case you want to address 5 of them concurrently to allow more room for engagement. So I'll start with Caroline on the first theme. You can use mine.
Thank you so much. So as he has said, my name is Caroline Gaita. I work as Executive Director for Mzalendo Trust. For those that have not interacted with us, we are Kenya's premier parliamentary monitoring organization. We keep an eye on parliament. We promote open, inclusive, and accountable parliaments, not just in Kenya, but across Africa as well. So part of the programs that we are doing is one relating to what's in the subject that always comes out when I look at that data, is the fact that trust in democracy, the practice of democracy is very high, but trust in democracy is waning. And so I like to repeat this quote that one of our actors said, that the biggest threat to democracy is actually not the plutocrats. It's not the dictators, but it's the democratically elected leaders that don't make democracy work for the people. It is citizens going to the polls, electing leaders that they think will do better, and those leaders disappointing them. And the second thing, which we've not talked a lot here, is on technology and democracy. Right now, there's a lot of focus on, and Mule will perhaps speak to that, on using technology to enhance electoral transparency. But as the Nobel laureate Maria Ressa has said, sometimes technology is giving us democratically elected leaders that are not democratic. You could look at what has happened in America. You have a democratically elected president. Whether he's democratic is a whole other conversation, and across other parts of the country. So as we talk about, and this is Mule's area, as we talk about elections, transparency, and use of technology, we also can't fail to talk about the quality of leadership. And as an institution, that's one of the areas that we've also focused on in terms of our accountability. For more resources, additional information.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Edwin Otieno. I'm an environmental consultant, a lead expert, and I serve in the board for the Environment Institute of Kenya. Of course, I'm here to represent our chair, Alex Mugambi, who did not make it to this session. I think the question of climate justice and politics, just addressing the misgovernance. For me, I think I would start by explaining it this way. Environment Institute of Kenya is a professional body bringing together all experts working in the field of environment, environmental impact assessment, and consulting, and all other related environmental fields. And one of the things that come out very clearly, even in the course of what we do when it comes to climate governance and the politics, is there is a very major disconnect. Wherever people meet and gather to talk about some of these issues, there is a place where we have mastered the art of talking the language and the gesture and the activism of what really needs to happen. But there is a place where the professional and the empirical knowledge or the actual information that would drive action is not really part of this. And I would couple it up with maybe some of the feedback or the information and the insight that came from the initial panel discussion. I don't believe the young people are really, really disadvantaged, as we may want to put it. And this would be my analogy. If you look at how the social media space works, and a number of people who have rose to the limelight and fame and what we may define as prosperity in that context, majority of them didn't have those qualifications that when we come to discussing how the young people take their place in governance and in leadership, we start mentioning those disadvantages. I think as young people, when it comes to even these governance issues and climate change, we've mastered the art of describing our disadvantage, but none of us are doing so much in describing our potential and defining how much as young people we have and how best we can harness that potential to be able to bridge the gap. Because it is true, it is said, the young people are informed and they have the knowledge, they've gone to school, they've taken time to sit, listen, look at research, but whenever we come to the place of having this conversation, we very quickly gravitate towards defining how disadvantaged we are. So I think one of the best way to start dealing with this gap is to dealing with these challenges and the issues around addressing the misgovernance is, one, the young people taking their place and looking at the potential they have in terms of the knowledge and the numbers and the ability to drive the proper conversation and to drive the proper information, and also the place of just bringing in the experts. And when some of these events and fora are organized, they should be geared towards bringing out the actual information and just looking at the gap.
Yeah.
I think that is one of the things that we really, really need to focus.
Yeah, thank you. We are moving on the third theme. Michael.
Yes, thank you. And my name is Michael Sanya. I'm here to represent the Oslo Center. And for those that have not interacted with us, the Oslo Center is an organization that works in the democracy space. We work through strengthening democracy and working through the institutions of government, ORPP, IEBC, political parties, and county government. I will address myself to the topic, which is the youth assemblies. The Oslo Center has a model of youth assemblies that is being implemented in Kwale and Lamu. The youth assemblies take the shape of parliament. They elect their youth leaders from the ward level. And these leaders are brought together at now the county level to form a structured platform where young people are able to engage with the duty bearers, and they engage with the county governments through policy cycles. So they will go to the villages, they will collect issues, they will put together through a policy cycle process and then present to the duty bearers for actioning. Why so? Because as we look at now the impact or the role of CSOs, and this is now, I've heard most of you say that CSOs, there's a disconnect between the engagement between the CSOs and governments. And this mostly has been brought about by not having structured platforms of engagement. Because we all talk about engaging the government, but we miss the point where now we are not really putting our opinions in a more structured way of how we can engage the government.
Thank you. Bashir, you are the next. Fourth thematic area.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Is it good afternoon? Right. Yeah. My name is Ahmed Noor Bashir. I'm one of the youth advisors for the European Union Commission in Brussels. And today I'll be addressing the women and youth in governance. So I come from a community in northern Kenya, which every time we struggle with layers of marginalization. First is the social norms. So the whole community itself looks down upon young people, and there's this culture of negotiated democracy where, I mean, I don't know what to call them, like village elders, clan elders choose the people who the Nini will vote for. Sorry. They usually choose what the voters will do. So young people are usually out of the picture when that negotiated democracy starts. And then the other thing is the cost of campaign. So today, if you want to run for a member of parliament in Kenya, it costs around 50 million, or I don't know, around 50 million or to 200 million. So that itself pushes out young people and women out of the conversation, because there's an economic inequality when it comes to that. And then coming to the last one is funding, because young organizations working in the areas of governance until today lack a funding mechanism that is youth friendly. Because you come and look at when I started my own organization back in 2015, I had a lot of hurdles going for funding. People would tell me, your organization is young, you need capacity, you need to have a good financial system, but these are bureaucratic hurdles that we need to get rid of if we really want to empower young people. And to the last one is, yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bashir. Mule should be the last on the fifth thematic area.
Thank you very much. My name is Mule Musau. I work with the Elections Observation Group. I've been asked to talk about the role of technology in terms of civic engagement and elections moving forward. And because a lot of this discussion has been canvassed, even earlier this moment, Mheshimiwa was talking about the Gen Z movement and the ability of the Gen Z to actually be able to mobilize in big numbers. So moving forward, if that is utilized in terms of mobilizing voters to be able to participate in a voter registration drives, that can be able to even beat the very expensive mass voter registration drives which are conducted by the IBC.